Alright, we're going to show you how to cut out one of these squares. The material we're going to be using for these posts is some 3/8 by 3/8 poplar. We bought us several sticks of it. Probably use it in different locations in the build, but I've cut me a test piece. That way I can test fit all the squares that I do cut. What I have figured out is if you'll take a nail punch, eyeball center, get you a good place to start your drill. We picked up one of these Fisker's hand drills. I think it was like 13-14 bucks. Me and Jack's both used it. He's put egg beaters in it, which is fun. But we want to drill the center of this waste material out. Alright, we're through. I actually went and got a bench chisel, 3/8 bench chisel. I'm going to take and cut at a diagonal to try to get some relief when we start chopping along the edges. So we've got some diagonal cuts here. That's what I hadn't been starting on the exact line. I'm moving in just a little bit so I can trim it with the paring chisel to make them fit really tight, because I don't want to have to clamp anything. So we're going to come off the edge a little bit, start working our way down. I found that you want to cut through this top piece of the plywood and then clean the material out. That way it makes it easier to cut through the back side of the plywood. So we're just going around, staying off our edges. See if we can get some of this waste material out. We're going to cut on through. You hear that backside snap. Now we should be through. Break this material out. Got me a drop cloth in the floor so I don't get in trouble for doing this in the house. So I got my test piece, and I already tell won't go in. So we're taking our 3/8 paring chisel. We're going to be trimming these edges up. My paring chisel is a lot sharper than my bench chisel. That's why I'm choosing not to just use one chisel all the way through. And there we go. Alright, we got our 9 squares cut into our plywood. Now we're going to be cutting the post. I'll show you a little setup I got over here where I'm cutting. I made some called Japanese floor horses. Made them out of 2x4s. Of course, some of the ones I've seen, some of the guys have gotten real fancy at making these, but not me. Just put screws in the bottom. Cut this out so it'd sit down in there. Works pretty good. So we need 9 pieces cut, and I've been cutting them at 2 and about a 1/16. I'll show you why here in just a second. Show you my next station. So So if we got 1/4 inch plywood, what I'm hoping is the posts are going to be sticking out of that 1/4 inch plywood at 1 3/4 inches. We've got our 9 pieces. Show you the next step. Got chainsaw here helping me. This is called a shooting board. It's used to square up material. It also is you can put miter blocks on it, so you can cut 45s. They tongue and groove it. This is called a cleat back here, so it gives you something to rest on the edge of the table, so something to bear against, so this thing stays fairly stable. I just threw this together. Another thing, you get real fancy with it. 2 2x4s. It's an old piece of wood here. What you want to do once you do get this piece right here attached to the 2x4s, you'll take a square and square this piece, and that's what your material is going to be riding against. See if I can show you here. What we're trying to do is trim the ends of these little blocks that we've made just to get them square and get the material down close to 2 inches. I've never used one of these before, so it's kind of trial by error here. I'm just moving that piece of material just a little bit further into my plane here. My plane's riding on this side right here. So I'm going to do all 9 of these like this. And I did notice something, that if you'll take and deburr the back edge with your chisel, and sometimes it doesn't splinter out, break out as bad. You just put that deburred edge back against your piece of wood here. That's it. We're going to do 9 more, and then we're going to be gluing them into our plywood. Actually, I forgot something. Forgot to tell you something. The drill bit I used was a 1/4 inch drill bit. That's the biggest size that the hand drill will accept. That process of cutting the squares would have probably been easier if you used a 3/8 drill bit or something just a little bit smaller than 3/8. Also, I messed up. I'm not going to be trimming 9 more of these. I'm going to be Alright, we got all our little pieces cut. We're fixing to glue them in. I have decided that it would probably be better to cut those at 2 inches, and that way you have less to trim off. We're going to be using Elmer's Pro Bond Advanced Glue. This is a really good glue. It doesn't foam up, which is what I like. But we're going to have to let it set for 24 hours after we get them put in. I've positioned these waste pieces of board so it's opening behind the square that we have cut. That way, if I do need to knock it down, if it is a little long, I'm going to shoot for making them all 1 3/4 inches all the way through. I know that's probably overkill, but we're going to use a little square to try to attempt to square them up. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold in place. Looks like I got me a helper. Here we go. It'll be harder to square than I thought because of the inconsistencies of the way the squares have been cut. That'll be alright. We'll make it work. Go ahead. moving right along here. Battery's about to go dead on the cameras where I keep checking the screen there. Hopefully we'll get all these glued in before that happens. I can already tell this is going to be a extremely big project. It's going to be fun. Hopefully we have success at it. And keep y'all posted. Once I get all these in, I'm going to actually go back with the bottle of glue and just weep some extra glue in the cracks in hopes of getting a really good bond. Trick is going to be getting this out of the way, getting it put up so chainsaw don't come and play with it. Alright, we're close. Run through these last ones, see how square I got them. It's actually decently square, which is a shock. We're going to weep some glue in the holes and let her dry. Keep you updated.